Thank you very much indeed, and good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here this morning with you all. As the new Minister for Arts, Heritage and Tourism, it really is a brilliant opportunity for me today to engage with so many of the organisations, new and old, and truly make this the most meaningful and enjoyable position in government, which I already know it is. I'm glad to say that I've had a really busy start, as many of you who might possibly follow my Twitter account will have seen. I've been out and about to see firsthand some of the incredible work that people in this room are responsible for. I've been lucky, for example, to see outstanding performances such as the Jerusalem Quartet at Wigmore Hall, Tosca at the Royal Opera House, Michael Longhurst's acclaimed production of Amadeus at the National Theatre. I've attended the reopening of the wonderful Hayward Gallery. I've seen Giselle from the Royal Ballet, Hamilton. I've seen Charles II's exhibition at the National Gallery, the Victorian Giants at the National Portrait Gallery, the Victoria and Albert Museum. I've seen ocean liners. What else have I seen? I've opened the new library at Oxford. That was all just this week. Hello, Oxford. That wasn't all just this week, by the way, but it's been the last few weeks. You can see I've been busy. Now, I would add that I haven't just confined myself, as you can tell, to the cultural offerings of London. So I've been able to visit the Belgrade Theatre in Coventry, the Royal and Derngate, a wonderful theatre in Northampton, my own constituency. And I will endeavour to get out and about and meet as many of you as possible, to learn from you and see the superb work that I know you all do. So I want to set out some of my priorities as Minister for Arts. Diversity. I want to start with a priority that I know everyone in this room will truly believe in. The issue of diversity is one that's very important to me, and like you, the government and I are fully committed to ensuring that arts and culture is accessible to everyone, regardless of their background, and not just the privileged few. And as Sir Nicholas Sirota said in his keynote speech at the Creative Case Leading Diverse Futures conference back in January, it is now doubly vital that the arts and culture sector delivers on diversity. So when we talk about diversity, we must also talk about diversity in the workforce, because we should all aspire to see the cultural sector represent our diverse society in their workforce. The government laid out its ambition in this regard in the Culture White Paper, many of you will be familiar with, and I'm glad to say we are making progress. The Cultural Citizens Programme pilot, a Culture White Paper commitment, reached almost 800 young people aged 11 to 15, successfully increasing participants' awareness of arts and culture opportunities and their confidence to engage. The Arts Council's Creative Case for Diversity is a great step forward, as I'm sure you'll all agree, in tackling this issue, as the only way to ensure that the arts are accessible to everyone is by promoting and embedding diversity throughout the work that they do at the Arts Council and that they fund. We can all see, ladies and gentlemen, the progress that has been made across the sector, but there is still more to do. This isn't an issue we can solve overnight, but with the commitment and the enthusiasm of you all in this room and beyond, I know we can succeed. Now, on the subject of education, this is something I'm particularly passionate about, the role of arts and culture in education. And we can see the difference that culture has on children's education and participatory engagement, and it's proven to increase health and well-being, to enrich citizens' lives, and to promote social mobility through access to unique cultural experiences and the development of extended networks. In other words, it's a good thing. And I've seen this firsthand including long before I was Arts Minister, in my own constituency with schools such as the Malcolm Arnold Academy and Northampton School for Boys, which focus on arts and culture. And I will be ensuring, going forward, that we continue to make a strong argument for the importance of an education that includes culture and creativity. And ladies and gentlemen, I would welcome your support in helping us make the strongest possible case. Now, we do, of course, have a positive history here. And between 2012 and 2017, the government invested over £580 million in a diverse portfolio of music and arts education programmes, which I hope shows our commitment as a government to this important part of a child's education. There is, however, an important issue here. This is about what happens both in schools and also outside of school. And we want to work with you to make the most of this investment and ensure that some of the excellent out-of-school education programs provided by many of you here today continue to thrive and reach as many children as possible. It changes lives. It is also good to see an ever-increasing number of NPOs, almost 90% of organisations in this round, contributing to the Arts Council's Goal 5 to ensure that every child and young person has the opportunity to experience the richness of the arts, museums and libraries sector. And when talking about place, you will know that the government launched the industrial strategy last November. Now, this is an unashamedly ambitious vision for the future of our country, laying out how we tackle our productivity challenge, earn our way in the future, and improve living standards across the country. And I very much believe in the vital role that culture can play in binding communities and a sense of pride and enthusiasm. We've seen that in Hull, for example, one of many examples. The engagement with culture can bring to individuals and to places. Arts, heritage, libraries, museums, galleries, and sport all have a vital role to play in building strong and resilient communities, and we believe no one should be left behind. And it is because of this belief in the role that culture can play that I want to see culture embedded in every region's strategies to realise the ambitions outlined in the industrial strategy. And for this, ladies and gentlemen, I look to you to play your part and continue to drive home the message that I know you feel, that culture is a vital component to the future prosperity of the nation. We have already seen the impact that cultural investment can have through the successes and practices which have been witnessed in places such as Hull, through the City of Culture competition, and from schemes such as the Great Place scheme. And it is my hope that the Cultural Development Fund will allow us to better demonstrate the model for place-based cultural development and advocate cultural-led placemaking across government. I'm delighted that, for the first time, the new national portfolio organisations include 7 public library bodies. Now, these include the Society of Chief Librarians as a sector support organisation, as well as those responsible for delivering library services in Barking and Dagenham, Cambridgeshire, Devon, Nottinghamshire, St Helens and Suffolk. I look forward to working with the Arts Council, as well as experienced national portfolio organisations and others across the sector, to both develop your own library and culture offers, but also to support and encourage other library services. In that work, I'm sure you will find a champion in the Arts Council's new Director of Libraries, Sue Williamson. I understand that Sue started in the role just this week, so she's even newer than I am, but having previously been at St Helens Library Service, so brings strong experience as Arts Council further seeks to build its role as the development agency for libraries in England. Now, I'd like to talk for a moment about digital culture, and hopefully most of you will have seen that my department launched the Culture is Digital report last week, which has received very positive feedback, by the way. The report documents nearly a year's worth of stakeholder engagement, with Arts Council England being one of the key partners in helping us shape recommendations. A lot of work has gone into it over the last year. We all know that digital is being embedded in all of our lives, and this is no less so for the cultural sector. So the report aims to ensure that cultural organisations use technology more effectively, whether that is ensuring that funded organisations get better at using audience data to tackle audience engagement, or investing in a digital culture network to increase digital skills and capabilities. This includes the creation of a digital board bank and guidance of digital criteria for senior leadership appointments. It is important that you, as leaders, embrace digital to help those within their organisations on the journey to digital transformation, as it is only then that organisations see truly transformational results. A key message from the report, and one which was reiterated by Matt Hancock, the Secretary of State, in his speech at the launch, was the need for cultural and technological organisations to collaborate and partner more in the future. The Arts Council will be facilitating this as part of its digital network, and I'd implore you to take advantage of the innovative opportunities for the new content that this is likely to produce. Exciting times ahead. One of the key aims of our digital culture project was to get interested parties with the same ambitions together to start a conversation. And I hope you will remain a key partner in helping those conversations and collaborations to continue. Now, on museums, I've been focusing on getting to know the museums my department directly sponsors, but I hope to start coming to visit many of you too. Fully integrating museums is a big and important step for ACE. We were delighted to see museums do so well in the National Portfolio Round, and I hope to see similar success with new strategic funds. My officials are working closely with ACE on implementing the Mendoza Review, which echoed many of the priorities I've spoken about around education, well-being and placemaking, and set out how Arts Council England will strengthen its support of the museum sector. As ever, to advocate for yourselves and to help us advocate for you at the spending round, it is important that you, as flagship organisations in arts, dance, museums, theatre and more, are demonstrating your impact. Regular, consistent and robust evaluation on the individual social impacts of your work, as well as the economic impacts, helps us to show the Treasury why arts and culture are a major success story and a valuable part of people's lives all over the UK, and that will help us to secure funding in the future. Now, as the UK prepares to leave the European Union, we will continue to work closely with you to understand and represent your concerns and your priorities. The talent, the creativity, the innovation of the UK's cultural sector is recognised the world over, and our departure from the European Union will not diminish that. The Prime Minister has confirmed her commitment to those issues that most affect the cultural sector, including the need to maintain as frictionless a border as possible, to facilitate the exchange of ideas through participation in mutually beneficial cultural programmes, and to agree a labour mobility framework that works both for the United Kingdom and for the European Union. So I would like to finish, ladies and gentlemen, by saying thank you. Thank you for all of the incredible work that you do to enrich the lives of people across the country, to engage with people from all backgrounds so as to ensure that everyone has access to world-class culture. I and the government truly recognise the huge personal, social and economic value of the cultural sector, and I will continue to champion you and your work across Whitehall and beyond. Thank you very much indeed.